Chris Redfield is without a doubt my favorite Resident Evil character. Hell, he's one of my favorite video game characters of all time actually. The dude has gone through hell, yet despite that, he has always returned to the war against POWs to continue the fight against the threat that has consumed his entire life. I love Chris Redfield, and on this episode of Nerdspace Games, we're honoring the dude as I'm showcasing my top 10 favorite Chris Redfield moments. Before we get started though, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel for more survival horror content. Also hit that like button if you enjoyed today's topic. Finally, this video is officially sponsored by G Fuel, so if you're looking for ways to support the channel, consider picking up your favorite type of G Fuel using the link below or the code Nerdspace Games at checkout to save up to 20% off your next order. Anyway, my name is Remake with Nerdspace Games, and this is my top 10 best Chris Redfield moments in Resident Evil. Let's get it. Number 10, enter Chris Redfield, Resident Evil Village. While the trailers may have made us think that Chris was joining the dark side when we saw him kill Mia Winters right in front of Ethan, us hardcore fans of the series knew better. Knowing who Chris is and what he does for the people he cares about, clearly there was a reason behind his actions in this scene. We just didn't know what it was yet. Full disclosure though, Chris, you could have just told Ethan what was actually going on and saved us all a lot of trouble, my dude. But you know what, Chris? You do you, my friend.
Package secure, sir. Take him away.
I said get your hands off her!
Ethan, no.
Number 9, killing Albert Wesker, Resident Evil 5. Considering that the rivalry between Chris and Wesker is one of the biggest rivalries in all of gaming, of course the final confrontation between the two was going to be huge. Which expectations were definitely met at the end of RE5 with multiple fights, both cinematic and actual boss fights, and a few iconic quotes and cutscenes between Chris and Wesker, including the infamous Chris moment.
Ready, partner?
Locked and loaded.
Suck on this, Wesker.
Your time's up, you son of a bitch.
Number 8, remembering Piers, Resident Evil Death Island. As a fan of Piers Nivens in Resident Evil 6, I was sad to play through both Village and RE7 without Chris mentioning his fallen comrade. Thankfully, we get one of the most heartfelt moments from Chris when he's with Jill Valentine in the newest CG film, Death Island. In this scene, he talks about Piers and how Piers motivated him to continue the fight in his honor after losing him, someone that was supposed to carry on the fight against POWs after Chris.
There was this guy named Piers. I wanted him to take over after me. I trusted him, and he trusted me. He fought alongside me, then he died to save me.
Number 7, saving Sheva, Resident Evil 5. Let's face it, RE5 is full of iconic Chris Redfield moments. We already covered one, and I promise you that we will cover a few more before this list is over. One incredible moment in that game though is when he saves Sheva, his new partner, after taking on Wesker. Like Jill before her, Sheva is ready to sacrifice herself to make sure that Wesker dies for good this time and so that she can save Chris. However, Chris says not this time as he puts himself at risk to catch Sheva and save her before she falls to her death.
A new Genesis is at hand, and I will be the creator.
I've had enough of your bullshit! You're just another one of Umbrella's leftovers.
You know what we have to do.
All right, I'll go for the override lever. Cover me.
You'll pay for that.
Hang on!
Number 6, Chris versus Leon, Resident Evil 6. While Chris and Leon might be on the same side of the war against BOWs, that doesn't mean that they necessarily agree on everything. Take RE6 for example, when we see Chris pursuing Ada, well, Carla, but they think it's Ada. Regardless, during this pursuit, before he can kill her and avenge his fallen comrades, Leon shows up and we get a short sequence of the two most badass characters fighting each other before finally agreeing to put aside their differences for the better good.
Chris? Leon? What are you doing here?
Put your gun down, Chris. She's a key witness. We need her.
A witness? She's the one who did all this!
No, it wasn't her. It was Simmons, the National Security Advisor.
I lost all my men because of her!
And I lost over 70,000 people, including the president, because of Simmons.
She's working for Neo Umbrella. You know what that means?
Yeah, I do.
And you're still going to protect this woman?
I am.
Captain! Freeze! Damn it!
Helena!
He's gonna kill her!
Chris, wait! We both want the same thing here.
All right. The BSAA will handle Ada. You take care of Simmons.
Chris! I know you'll do the right thing.
Number 5, Boulder Punch, Resident Evil 5. Okay, I can't really talk about the most iconic or most badass Chris Redfield moments without mentioning the biggest meme from RE5 and Chris's history, the Boulder Punch. Long story short, Chris punched a big ass boulder into a river of lava in the middle of a volcano. Need I say more? Number 4, Chris versus Glenn Arias, Resident Evil Vendetta. Vendetta is currently my favorite Resident Evil movie, and for good reason. Chris Redfield, my favorite RE character, is front and center, and man does he get a lot of time to shine. As with the norm, when it comes to Chris Redfield, we find him pursuing a man by the name of Glenn Arias out of revenge for killing people he cared about. Well, when Chris finally gets his chance to fight Arias, man do they put up a show. Sure, there's some weird comedic bits in this fight, like how they run in a circle after each other at one point, shooting the floor, but all in all, this fight is just chef's kiss. Number 3, Chris vs. Wesker, Resident Evil, Code Veronica. At this point, I might as well call this list the best Chris and Wesker moments because at least half of the most iconic Chris moments involve the man, the myth, the legend himself, Albert Wesker. We'll talk more about him in the next entry, but first we take a look at the moment in which Chris and Wesker reunite for the first time since the Spencer Mansion incident. While the fight is pretty one-sided, with Chris pretty much getting his ass whooped, the confidence that Chris and his persistence to avenge his fallen comrades, the STARS Alpha and Bravo team, really shines bright here. Plus, Chris is able to outsmart Wesker and survive the encounter, and let's just say that Chris bulks up a little, just a little, for their next encounter, and it's not as one-sided as this one was. Just saying.
I'll end this once and for all. Say hello to my comrades who I've killed.
I don't know where you get your confidence, Chris.
Sure, I'm not human anymore, but just look at the power I've gained. Magnificent, don't you think?
Nice try.
Wesker.
Today's your lucky day. Next time we meet, don't count on another.
Next time.
Until we meet again.
Number 2, Chris and Jill vs. Wesker, Resident Evil 5, Lost in Nightmares DLC. Let's face it, there's no better fight scene in the Resident Evil games than the fight of Chris and Jill versus Wesker. This sequence is iconic as hell, and it's one of the coolest cutscenes in the entire series. Watching Wesker jump around all over the room as he takes on his fellow STARS survivors and pretty much kick their ass is just so cool to watch. Despite that, Chris and Jill fight hard, trying their best to defeat the man responsible for turning their world upside down, only to be left with one option. Jill must sacrifice herself to save Chris and defeat Wesker. Well, sorta. Both Jill and Wesker do survive this encounter, but man, it was one hell of a scene. Enough said. Number 1, Leon, continue the Redfield bloodline.
Leon, 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 what my sins? Oh, Ada Wong, Ashley, and Hunnigan too. 1,000 Asian waifus couldn't keep me from you.
Okay, yeah, in all seriousness, the number 1 spot actually goes to a scene from my favorite Resident Evil movie. Yep, we're back with Resident Evil Vendetta. In the film, there's a moment in which Leon and Chris take on a lot, and I mean a lot of zombies. This scene is actually pretty insane for both Leon and Chris, but it's really Chris that's the MVP in this scene because the fight moves Chris has in this sequence are just mind-blowing and badass. Seriously, how can you watch this scene and not love Chris Redfield? The dude is just so awesome. Let's go. But yeah, that does it for this episode of Nerd Games. Hit up the comments and let me know what you think of my list. Is the zombie fight in Vendetta the best Chris Redfield moment in the entire RE franchise, or is there a different moment that I completely miss on my list that you think deserves a special shout out? Let me know your thoughts down below. Anyway, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more survival horror and Resident Evil content. But thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Nerd Games. Take care.